Today is Wednesday. Today's lessons we will continue with exercise 14 on page 431 and finish that. I asked you to do that at home. So let's go ahead and check that. So in number 1 on page 431, complete the sentences with the verbs in parentheses. Check your answers. Oil floats on water. If you pour oil on water, it will float or it floats. Either one, future or present, are correct because here we're talking about an established fact. Okay? When you're talking about an established fact, you can use, or general truth, you can use either the simple present or the simple future. Number 2, if there were no trees on earth, there would not be enough oxygen. Life as we know it would not exist. Again, if there were no trees on earth, there would not be enough oxygen. Life as we know it would not exist. Number 3, if you boil water, it will disappear into the atmosphere as vapor. If you boil water, it will disappear into the atmosphere as vapor. Number 4, many animals hibernate in the winter. One reason is because of food. If animals did not hibernate, they would need to find food at a time when food is scarce. If animals did not hibernate, they would need to find food at a time when food is scarce. Number 5. If people had paws, if you look at the picture, that's a paw. If people had paws instead of hands with fingers and opposable thumbs, the machines we use in everyday life would have to be constructed very differently. We would not be able to turn knobs, push small buttons, or hold tools and utensils securely. Again, if people had paws instead of hands with fingers and opposable thumbs, the machines we use in everyday life would have to be constructed very differently. We would not be able to turn knobs, push small buttons, or hold tools and utensils securely. Okay? Now, look at the next chart, 20-4. This is the third part of the chart from chart 20-1 on page 427. This is unreal in the past. And remember that if we're using unreal in the past, that means that the if clause is going to be in the past perfect, and the result clause is going to have would have followed by the past participle. Okay? So in exercise 15, the warm-up or introduction, it says choose the correct time word. If Anne were available, she would help us. And number 2, if Anne had been available, she would have helped us. Okay? So if we look at number 1, if Anne were available, she would help us. Is that now or yesterday? The correct answer is going to be now. And number 2, if Anne had been available, she would have helped us. Look at this. Look at the if clause, had been, past perfect. And then look at the result clause, would have helped. So you say, okay, this is going to be past, so it's yesterday. So, if we look at contrary to fact in the past, chart 20-4. If you had told me about the problem, I would have told you. I would have helped you, I'm sorry. In A, actually you did not tell me about the problem, so I didn't help you. B, if they had studied, they would have passed the exam. In B, actually they did not study. Therefore, they failed the exam. And in C, if I hadn't slipped on the stairs, I wouldn't have broken my arm. In C, actually, I slipped on the stairs, I broke my arm. Note, the auxiliary verbs are often reduced in speech. If you'd have told me, or if you'd have told me, or you'd have told me, I would have helped you, or I'd have helped you. Okay? So here, but don't worry about that because again, that's very informal. Okay? But if you hear it, you know what they're talking about. So remember that when you're talking about something that's unreal in the past, your if clause is going to be in the past perfect. Your result clause is going to have would have and the past participle. Okay? Look at D and E. If I had had enough money, I would have bought a car. Look at the if clause. Had past perfect. And then look at the result clause. Would have and then bought a car. Would expresses a desired or predictable result. Like in yesterday's lesson, I explained that would be the only option. That you would need enough money to buy a car. That's the only thing you want to buy. So you use would. But in E, if I had had enough money, I could have bought a car. So in E, could expresses a possible option. Could have bought means would have been able to buy. So here, I could have bought a car, I could have bought a house, I could have bought a motorcycle, I could have gone on vacation for a month. Any of those are possibilities. That's the difference between would and could in unreal situation in the past. That would limits you to one option, but could gives you more options, more possibilities. Okay? So if we look at example or exercise 16. Okay? Write the correct form of the verb in parentheses. Then complete the sentence with a phrase from the right. So we look at number 1. If Rhea had, now here's the verb, go. So we have had, so we know it's going to be past perfect. What's the past participle of go? Gone. If Rhea had gone to the hospital, she, letter D, would have gotten better more quickly. Number 2. If Tim hadn't, here's a, okay, we're going to see past perfect. If Tim hadn't, what's the past participle of lose? Lost his passport, he, letter F, wouldn't have missed the flight home. Number 3. If you hadn't stayed out all night, stay, past participle is stayed, ed, regular verb, had not stayed out all night, there's your present perfect, you, letter A, wouldn't have slept all day. Go ahead and do number 4, 5, and 6. Okay, number 4. If you had helped us move, we, letter C, would have finished already. Number 5. If the waiter had been friendlier, I, letter B, would have left a bigger tip. Number 6. If we had had chains in the car, we, letter E, wouldn't have gotten stuck in the snow. So remember, the if clause, you're going to use past perfect, so you're going to use had and the past participle of the verb in parentheses. Had gone, hadn't lost, hadn't stayed, had helped, had been, and had had. And then for number 1, the correct answer is D. Number 2 is F. Number 3 is A. Number 4 is C. Number 5 is B. And number 6 is E. So let's look at exercise 17. Complete the sentences with past conditionals. Now remember here, getting lost. If you're using unreal situations, just like it says on chart 20-4, your if clause is going to be in the past perfect, and your result clause is going to use would have and then the past participle. If the map on my phone, and then we have be not. So you say hadn't been, because it's negative. So had not been wrong, we wouldn't have gotten lost. Okay? Because this is get not, so would not have gotten lost. Look at number 2. If you had followed, past perfect because here's the if clause. If you had followed my directions, we would not have spent the last 2 hours driving around. Again, if you had followed my directions, we would not have spent the last 2 hours driving around. Number 3. If I had not been so tired, I would have paid closer attention. If I had not been so tired, I would have paid closer attention. Go ahead and do number 4, 5, and 6. I'll give you a minute. Okay, number 4. If we, past perfect, had rented a car with GPS, we, the result clause, would have found, would have, and then the past participle, would have found the hotel by now. If we had rented a car with GPS, we would have found the hotel by now. Number 5. If you had listened to me, we would not have driven around in circles. If you had listened to me, we would not have driven around in circles. Number 6. If we had taken the train, we would have been there an hour ago. If we had taken the train, we would have been there an hour ago. Okay. We're going to skip exercises 18 and 19. Let's go on to page 434, exercise 20. And here it says, looking at grammar. Now this is using the information from charts 20-3 and 20-4. From 20-3, this is unreal in the present or future. And in 20-4, it's unreal in the past. Okay? So remember, if it's unreal in the present or future, the if clause verbs are going to be in the simple past. The result clause verbs are going to have would in the simple form. That's it, unreal in the present or future. Now if it's unreal in the past, the if clause verbs are going to be in the past perfect, and the result clause will be would have and a past participle. So we look at number 1, answer the questions. If I had gone, there's your past perfect, to the movie with you, I would have enjoyed it. This is a result clause, would have enjoyed. This is would have in the past participle. Did I go with you? No. Did I enjoy the movie? No. Is the meaning present or past? Past. Number 1. If I had bought my ID, I could have gotten a student discount. So here we have past perfect and then could have gotten. Could have and then the past participle. Did I bring my ID? No. Did I get a discount? No. Is the meaning present or past? Past. Number 3. If Dad had his ID, he would get a senior citizen discount. So again, this is simple past, and this is would get, would in the simple form. Does he have his ID? No. Is he going to get a discount? No. Is the meaning present or past? This is present, because this is unreal in the present future. Because this is, the if clause is in the simple past, and then the result clause only would and get the simple form. So this is present. Number 4. If I felt better, I would go to work. Here, look at the if clause. Felt, simple past. The result clause, would go. Would in the simple form of the verb. Do I feel better? No. Am I going to work? No. Is the meaning present or past? Present. Go ahead and do number 5, 6, and 7. Okay, number 5. If I didn't have any friends, I would be lonely. Look at the if clause, simple past because of the auxiliary. Look at the result clause, would be. Would in the simple form of the verb. Am I lonely? No. Do I have friends? Yes. Is the meaning present or past? Present. Number 6. Jackson would have made it to class on time this morning if the bus hadn't been late. Look at the result clause. Would have, and then the past participle made. And then look at the if clause. Had not been, this is past perfect. Was the bus late? Yes. Did Jackson make it to class on time? No. Is the meaning present or past? Past, because that was this morning. Number 7. If I had more time, I would stay longer and talk. So look at the if clause. Past, simple past. Look at the result clause. Would stay, would in the simple form of the verb. Do I have more time? No. Will I stay longer? No. Is the meaning present or past? Present. So remember, look at the if clause, look at the result clause, and that will tell you if it's real or unreal in the present, in the future, or in the past, because of the indication. Again, refer to chart 427, because that will help you. Okay? All right. Look at exercise 21. On exercise 21, on page 435, you have the instructions. Now you're going to use the information from charts 20-1 to 20-4 to determine if it's real or unreal in the present, future, or past. Again, refer to the chart on page 427. Instead of going to chart 20-2, 20-3, 20-4, just go to page 427. 20-1 covers that all. Look at number 1. Or the instructions say, underline the clause that expresses a condition. Write R if the condition is a real condition. Write U if the condition is unreal. Then decide if the sentence refers to present, future, or past time. Okay? So number 1, A. If the weather is warm, we'll eat outdoors. So here, this is real, and this is present, future. Look at B. If the weather were warm, we would eat outdoors. Here, this is the clause that expresses a condition, if the weather were warm. So you underline that. It's unreal in the present, future. The fact is the weather is not warm, so we can't eat outside. Letter C. If the weather had been warm, we would have eaten outdoors. So here's my clause that expresses a condition. If the weather had been warm, underline that. And this is going to be unreal because this is going to be past perfect and would have in the past participle. So it's going to be unreal in the past. Look at number 2. If I had more money, I would work less. So here, the clause that expresses a condition, if I had more money. Okay? Now, this is in the simple past, and this is would in the simple form. So, this is unreal in the present, future. Look at B. If I had had more money, I would have worked less. So in the if clause, had is past perfect, and the result clause would have in the past participle worked. So if I had had more money is my clause that expresses a condition, underline that. And since we're using the past perfect and would have in the past participle, We know that this situation is unreal, put a U, and this is going to be in the past. Do number 3, A, B, and C, and we'll check in a minute. All right. So number 3, A. If I don't have to work, I can visit you. The clause that expresses a condition, if I don't have to work. Okay? And if you look at this is in the present. And I can visit you, the verb in the result clause is in the simple form, present. So this is going to be real. This is the clause that expresses a condition. If I don't have to work, it's going to be real. It's going to be present future. B. If I hadn't had to work, I could have visited you. What's my clause that expresses a condition? If I hadn't had to work. Now look at the if clause. Hadn't had, and then could have visited. Okay, so here you say, okay, this is past perfect, and this is could have, and the past participle. So here, if I hadn't had to work is my clause that expresses a condition. Underline that. And then this is going to be unreal in the past because of the past perfect and could have in the past participle. Letter C. If I didn't have to work, I could visit you. So my clause that expresses a condition, if I didn't have to work. Okay? Now, this is simple past, and then this is could, and then the verb in the simple form. So this is going to be unreal in the present future. Okay? We're almost done. Look at exercise 22. Draw a line to each correct completion. If I have enough money, I will buy it. B. If I had enough money, I would buy it, because this is the if clause is in the simple past. So you're going to, in the result clause, would, and the simple form of the verb buy. Letter C. If I had had enough money, I would have bought it. Look at the if clause. Past perfect, had enough money. So the result clause would have in the past participle. So this is going to go here. If I had had enough money, I would have bought it. Let's do number 2 together. If they arrive early, they will call. This is in the present. The if clause verb is in the present. So you say the result clause, they will call. Okay, will in the simple form of the verb. Okay. Letter B. If they arrived early, they would call. Look at the if clause. Arrived, simple past. So you're going to say result clause, would, and the simple form of the verb. So if they arrived early, they would call. Letter C. If they had arrived early, they would have called. Because here you have had arrived, past perfect, and would have and the past participle in the result clause. If they had arrived early, they would have called. Go ahead and do number 3, 4, and 5. Okay, number 3. If he had needed help, notice the if clause, had needed, past perfect. So if he had needed help, he would have asked. The result clause would have in the past participle. Letter B. If he needs help, this is in the present. Okay, so the result clause, he will ask. This is, if he needs help, he will ask. This is present, real in the present future. He will ask. Letter C. If he needed help, he would ask. Because here, this is, the if clause verb is in the simple past. So you, in the result clause, would and the simple form of the verb. So if he needed help, he would ask. Number 4. I would buy the coat. Now here they're putting the result clause first, followed by the if clauses. So here, I would buy the coat if it fit. Okay? And I would have bought the coat if it had fit. This is past perfect, so would have in the past participle. I would have bought the coat if it had fit. Letter C, I will buy the coat if it fits. This is real in the present future. Number 5. We will stop by. Now here, will stop. This is, okay, this is will in the simple form of the verb. So we say, okay, this is real in the present future. We will stop by if we have extra time. The verb is going to be in the simple form, in the if clause. We would have stopped by. So here, would have and stopped. Would have and stopped, past participle, if we had had extra time. This is unreal in the past because of the past perfect. So we would have stopped by if we had had extra time. And letter C, we would stop by if we had extra time. This is would and then the simple form of the verb in the result clause. This is the simple past in the if clause. So we would stop by if we had extra time. Okay. Let's look at exercise 23. On exercise 23, it's similar to exercise 22, but here we're going to fill in the blank instead of draw a line to the correct completion. On exercise 23, it says complete the sentences with the verbs in parentheses. So again, here we have the if clauses. Here we have the result clauses. Look at the result clause. Will go, will, and the simple form of the verb. So it's okay, this is going to be real in the present future. If I have, simple form, time, I will go with you. Look at B. If I blank time, I would go with you. Look at the result clause, would, and the simple form of the verb. So you say this is going to be real in the, unreal in the present future. If I had time, I would go with you. That means I don't have time, so I can't go with you. Number C. If I blank time, I would have gone with you. Look at the result clause. Would have, and then the past participle. So you say, oh, this is going to be past perfect, because this is going to be unreal in the past time. If I had had time, I would have gone with you. Go ahead and do number 2, A, B, and C. Look at the verbs in the if clauses. That'll help you to get your result clause verbs. So number 2A, if the weather were nice today, look at the verb here in the if clause, simple past. So you say, okay, this is going to be unreal in the present future. If the weather were nice today, we would go to the zoo. Would go. Letter B, if the weather had been nice yesterday. So here you look at the verb form in the if clause, past perfect. So see, if the weather had been nice yesterday, we would have, and then the past participle, gone to the zoo. Letter C. If the weather is nice tomorrow, so this verb in the if clause is in the simple present, so this is going to be real in the present future. If the weather is nice tomorrow, we will go to the zoo. Now if you turn to page 436, we have number 3. We don't have it on the screen, but I'd like to finish exercise 23 with number 3. Linda wasn't home yesterday. If she blank at home yesterday, I blank her. So you say, okay, she wasn't at home yesterday. So you say, okay, this is unreal in the past. If she had been, past perfect, at home yesterday, the result clause, you're going to use would have in the past participle. I would have visited her. Now look at letter B. If Sally blank at home tomorrow, I blank her. So here you're thinking, okay, this is talking about tomorrow. So this is going to be real in the present future. So you say, if Sally, simple form verb, is at home tomorrow, I will visit her. because this is the result. Will and the simple form of the verb, because it's a real situation in the future. And letter C. Jim isn't home right now. If he blank at home right now, I blank him. But Jim isn't home right now. So this is unreal in the present future. If he, so the if clause verb is going to be in the simple past. If he were at home right now, the result clause, you're going to have would in the simple form of the verb. If he were at home right now, I would visit him. Okay? Now, I'd like for you to do exercise 24, okay, for Thursday morning's online session from 10 to 10:45. Please make sure that you log on, okay? So please make sure you log on and complete exercise 24, numbers 1 through 8. And we'll check those online. Okay? Thank you, everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy. I will see you on Thursday morning online. Thank you.